Hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today, I am going to explain an Irish horror film called Boys from Country Hill. The film begins in a small town in Ireland named 6 Miles Hill. Here, farming was the main business. This town was famous for the legend of Abhartach. According to the legend, Bram Stoker came here in the 19th century, and after listening to the story of Abhartach, he wrote the novel Dracula. This town had a cairn in the fields which has lasted for centuries, and is believed to be the grave of Abhartak. Locals never touched this cairn as they believed in its legend too. According to the legend, centuries ago there was a zombie-like man known as Abhartak who used to suck blood out of people. He was killed by a town chief named Chauhan. Chauhan buried Abhartak's body beneath this monument and placed stones over it, so that he can never reincarnate. People had been believing in this legend for centuries and were still doing it today. After the book Dracula got famous in the late 19th century, this town became famous too. The cairn became a tourist place where people from all around the world used to visit here. Here the local bar was named after Bram Stoker. In the beginning we see an old couple who were enjoying TV one night. Suddenly they start bleeding from nose, eyes and ears. I mean, bleeding was continuous as if someone is sucking blood from them. Couple start shouting spontaneously as they see an entity at their doorstep. Now we see a flashback where story begins at Stoker Bar. 2 months earlier, 2 youngsters named Eugene and William were drinking at the bar. Eugene was unemployed and broke, he lived alone in his house. William completed his degree at the university, and was working at Eugene's dad's construction company. Of course, temporarily. These 2 guys' mutual friend, Claire, was a bar attendant in this bar. These 3 wanted to settle out of this town as they believed this town is a shitty town. Now 2 Canadian tourists have just arrived at this bar who apparently had lots of money. Seeing the money they have, Eugene takes them on a tour of Cairn. Narrating the history of Cairn, he says, Abhartak was the first vampire in the world. As soon as someone comes near him, blood starts to pour out from them like water. William says that this cairn has been on his dad's farm for centuries. If someone places their ears on this cairn, then even today they will hear the voice of Abhartak. William asks tourists to check it for themselves. As soon as one guy places his ear on the stone, a vampire-like hand grabs his head, which naturally spooks him, and he runs away from there shouting in panic. Now we see Eugene and William's 4th friend, SP, emerging from the cairn. It was all a prank concocted by these guys to scare the tourists. LOL. The tourists go away abusing these 3 in anger. Later SP says he wants to see at least once in his life what lies beneath this cairn. To which William says that if the bypass road project goes through, then this cairn will have to be demolished. Then we will see what lies beneath it. Eugene's dad, Francie, was a contractor. He had a construction company called Moffat Construction. SP and William were road workers there. He was building a bypass road for which the demolition of this cairn was necessary. The cairn was in the middle of the road. Next day we see Eugene at his house. It is adjacent to his mom's farm field. For centuries Eugene's mom's family were in farming. Eugene's mom's old house was also in the field where he used to live when he was a child. Here Eugene's and Francie's relationship was estranged. Eugene's mom was dead, and she was divorced. Francie was not a good dad, he never took care of his young son properly, hence there was a resentment in Eugene's heart towards Francie. Eugene got his mom's house as an inheritance. Francie now offers a job to Eugene at his company. He was hoping he could use him and William to pursue William's dad George, who was against the demolition of that cairn. We see Eugene entering a huge underground barn in front of his house, which was there for centuries in different forms. There we see an opening which used to connect to the town's sewer lines. Eugene finds a human skull there which seemed old and half of it were missing. Later Eugene meets Claire and William George. George used to do the work of mortification along with farming. Eugene shows him the skull and asks its value. He felt that it would be valuable as it seemed 1,000 or 2,000 years old. But for his bad luck, George says it's worthless. Later we see William and Eugene at the same bar. William was planning to shift to Australia. He had an offer from an Australian company who was willing to pay more. In the meanwhile, Claire lost her job too. She was joining these boys tomorrow morning on the road work project. As William was wasted with drinks, hence Eugene picked him up. He starts to drop him to his house. On the way these 2 start to argue and fight over Claire as both were in love with her. Eugene wanted William to propose to her, otherwise he was going to do that. These two were fighting near the cairn where William's hand hit a sharp-edged stone. He starts bleeding. At this precise time, both hear George's screaming voice as one of his bulls was raging towards him. The bull directly attacks William, it pokes his horn into him, which results in his death on the spot. George arrives and drives it away from William, but it was late. Eugene observes a strange phenomenon here. All the blood coming from Eugene's body was sinking in the mud as if someone was sucking it from beneath. Next day, police investigate this matter. William's funeral takes place. The townspeople were blaming Eugene for William's death. They were unhappy about the road project as it was going to demolish that cairn, where Eugene was a part of it. Later, Eugene, Claire, and SP start their routine work. After a few weeks, the project arrives at the cairn location. George was still not ready to move on from his house, or agree to demolish that cairn which was directly obstructing the road project. He insists on Eugene not to demolish that cairn as he thought it could make the evil alive again. He warns him. He asks him in a cryptic way about William's blood when he died, to which Eugene gives no answer. As he was feeling guilty, Eugene now orders his co-worker Gabriel to demolish that cairn, but like many in town, he was scared too. He refuses it. Hence, Eugene himself demolishes that cairn. At night, we see Eugene and Claire, who were getting close. Claire started to like Eugene. At the construction site, we see Charlie, the night guard. Someone knocks at his cabin. When Charlie opened the door, there was nobody. He shouts angrily in the air as he was pissed. As soon as he returns to his cabin, we see his blood splashing on the window, meaning someone has just killed him. Next day, Francie makes Eugene the in-charge for the day as he was leaving the town for some odd work. Later, Eugene and others see that someone has rebuilt the cairn. Charlie was missing too. Eugene gets confused. He goes back to the drawing board and makes a new way so that the cairn could be saved. When Francie arrives in the evening and sees that no work was done, then he angrily shuts at Eugene. He rejects Eugene's new proposal, saying he was no engineer. He orders him to demolish that cairn again. Now we see Charlie at the cabin, who was looking sick. Eugene was taking him to the hospital in a van. Then the sunset happens. Charlie converts and becomes a vampire. He attacks Eugene, which causes an accident. Francie, Claire, SP and Gabriel help Eugene, then all the headlights at the site go off. Eugene explains about the vampire-like behavior of Charlie, but nobody heeds it. Francie now goes to switch on the lights where someone kidnaps Gabriel. Eugene was searching for Charlie at the cabin where Charlie attacked him violently. Claire arrives there in time, and she starts to beat Charlie with a measuring rod. She pokes the nose of the rod into Charlie's heart, which causes his heart to move out from his body. Eugene and Claire ran from there in panic, where SP and Francie found Gabriel's body. He was dead too. These guys were in chaos as they didn't know what the hell was happening. Now Charlie came from that cabin with that pole on his chest, and his heart was out. He had become an undead zombie as Abhartach. Francie grabs him by his pole and drops him into a hole. He beats him, but he doesn't die. Charlie climbs the pole and starts coming out of it. Claire pours a ton of mud on him with the help of a JCB, but that also doesn't help. He starts to get out of the mud. Eugene asks Claire to pour stones on him from a nearby cairn as a last resort. Claire does that, and this time Charlie was buried. Meaning, he was converted into a zombie, and you could only finish them by burying them with stones like Cairn. All four breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes. They were now convinced in the legend of Abhartach. This has been happening since yesterday when Eugene demolished the cairn. These guys see some movement from the original cairn. The hand of the original Abhartach comes out of it. As Claire had demolished the original cairn to pour stones on the Charlie. Seeing this, these four runs away from it like Usain Bolt. All these scenes were very funny. The director has done a brilliant job here. Now they arrive at George's house and explain everything to him. George was not surprised here. He gives the idea of informing the police. Eugene tries that but fails to explain it properly. Later, George shows the truth to all. He had locked William in a room. He too had become a zombie like Charlie. He was quite violent. George was feeding him animals every day. George was a mortician. That day he was preparing William's body at home. That day, William got up as soon as the night fell. It was also seen by George's wife Pauline, and since then she was in shock. A small piece of stone was stuck on William's hand when he fought with Eugene. George says that people do not convert into zombies by the bite of a vampire, but become zombies with the cut of Abhartach stones. George had a fake body at William's funeral. He also confesses that he attacked Charlie in the cabin. It was he who made him a zombie by scratching him with the stone of Abhartach. George's farmhouse was in the middle of this road project. He was trying to stop it at any cost. That's why he made Charlie a zombie, so that he could attack everyone, which may lead to the halting of the project. By saying all this, George started crying. As for him, William was still alive. He thought of his zombiness as a medical condition that could be cured. He didn't want to lose his son. These four were shocked after hearing this. They did not even expect this in their dreams. Eugene consoles George and says, "What is there in that room is no William. William is gone. This zombie is just a curse." These four now pacify George and convince him. Their plan was now to hit William hard so that he became unconscious and put stones on his body. As this idea was written in the novel Dracula. Here Francie disagrees with it. He suggests a dark creative idea of severing the head of William, so that he will be weak and easy to put him in a coffin. For this, they prepare a coffin with extra boards. George was ready with an axe. Eugene goes to William's room, opens his lock and runs back. William follows him, but he does not come forward as he has understood their trick. There were memories left in him. Claire now grabs Eugene's hand and provokes William as she knew William liked her. William proceeds forward with anger. George was about to hit his head with an axe. That's when Pauline shot him from behind. She was awake, and she sensed William as her son. She goes towards him in her innocence, but zombie William attacks her and kills her. Oh, poor lady. The rest runs away from home seeing their failed plan. In a hurry, Eugene forgot to bring the car keys. William now comes out. George shoots at him for distraction, but it's no use. He doesn't die. George didn't want to die from a zombie bite, so he shot himself with the gun. William attacks him anyway and eats him alive. We see the town's police officer here who was sleeping in his house. When he wakes up for the leak, he starts bleeding heavily. As the original Abhartak was now risen from his graveyard, he was moving around the town and sucking people's blood. The rest went back home and were hiding. SP and Eugene were hiding under the casket in the funeral room. Claire and Francie were hiding in the hall. When William was checking one casket, Eugene hammers a nail in his head. SP pushes him in an empty casket and shouts for help. William attacks back. He snatches SP's stomach, due to which he starts bleeding. Later, Claire, Eugene and Francie attacked William and put him in a casket. They closed it with many nails. But in the midst of all this, SP was hurt pretty bad. He dies due to excessive bleeding. Eugene and Claire were crying as they lost two of their childhood friends in 2 months. But the work was not over yet. They buried that casket next to George's house. They pour stones on it. Now the original Abhartak who came out of that cairn was roaming in the town. He was sucking blood from all the people. Here we see that old couple which we saw at the beginning. It was he who was at their doorstep. The bar owner, tourists, police, the common people started bleeding. Blood was flowing from their bodies into the sewer lines. Francie, Eugene and Claire now visit Claire's house. Where these three were away from Abhartak, hence they were not bleeding. Eugene now feels that Abhartak may be heading for that opening in his shed. That's the opening where he found the skull and many more bones. As it was connected to sewer lines. He thinks that initially the blood is flowing, later bodies may flow too. Francie and Eugene now visit their old house. Francie also starts bleeding as soon as he arrives there. Meaning, Abhartak was nearby. But strangely Eugene was not bleeding. Francie observes an old portrait hanging there, and says that his Eugene's mother was a descendant of Chahan, the town's chief who buried the original Abhartak. Francie concludes that Eugene might be having Shahan's blood, hence he was not bleeding. In this terrible situation Eugene and Francie come closer. Suddenly, Abhartak arrives at this and starts attacking them. Francie locks Eugene in a room and hits Abhartak with a rod. Abhartak attacks back. He breaks Francie's leg with an axe. Eugene escapes from his room. He repeatedly hits Abhartak and makes him unconscious. Next he runs away with Francie. They both ran away to the same underground shed where they found the skull. It was almost morning. According to Dracula's novel, the vampires burn in the daylight. But nothing like that happens here. That thing was purely a friction. Francie and Eugene were now trapped. They could not run anywhere. Francie asks Eugene to uproot his leg and use it to attack Abhartak. Eugene does not agree at first but finally does it. He beats the crap out of Abhartak with human leg and pours the stones on him. By burying under the stone, Abhartak finally dies. Eugene braces Francie's leg tightly and stops his bleeding. As soon as Abhartach dies, the rest of the people of the town come to their senses. Most of them were unconscious due to bloodshed. The story now moves forward 3 months. Claire was now headed to Australia. Eugene tells her a goodbye. Francie was now living with Eugene, both of them had renovated the house together. Abhartak's grave was still in the underground shed in front of his house. So this was the story of the film. Boys from Country Hell. This film is a horror film as well as a comedy film. The gore scenes of the film are quite good. The director has explored the local Irish folklore well. The film is full of human relations, like George and William. A perfect father-son relationship who loved each other very much. Whereas Eugene and Francie were just the opposite. The film also focuses on the importance of friendship. I really like this one. I hope you do too. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe and like. Thanks for watching. Take care.